if they have a lot of counter spells and whatever, and they're bringing you to the late game, if you're giving them 1/1s to beat you down with, that is not good. I've played games where I was playing against a control deck and I give them like 2 or 3 of these, and they own me with them, because it's gonna take you a while to actually get something set up with delay backup or whatever to actually be able to combo. So it's pretty annoying. I threw 1 exotic orchard in here. I figure, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna go into explaining it because this isn't like the ideal setup for this deck for the lands, but they work. They're not that bad. But if you have the money, Hollowed Fountain and Steam Vents is definitely what you want to get instead of those. But everything else is exactly how it should be. Sideboard wise, again, a little cheapo. I'll let you know what I swapped out. And then another Blood Moon. It's pretty much for 12 post. Like, I think, like, obviously, if they're playing one color or whatever, like Blood Moon is not good, you take it out. Like, there's some matchups where you just don't want Blood Moon because it doesn't really do a lot. But there are other matchups where, like, if you're playing against a control deck that's playing like 3 or 4 colors and you drop a Blood Moon, they're just like, oh, alright, now what? Same for 12 post. Like, if they're trying to ramp with Cloud Post and you drop a Blood Moon on them, they're just like, oh, well, now instead of having 12 mana, I have 4, 5, or whatever it is. It's it's pretty good. Blood Moon is no joke in this format because so many people are running those dual lands, the shock lands, and whatever else. It's pretty good. Don't know how to pronounce that. Buseyu, I guess. I haven't been able to play with this that much. I'll actually explain that again in a second. 2 Fire Spouts, pretty much against zoo, any creature decks. Fire Spout is so great. The difference between 2 and 3 damage is enormous. And you can actually use the green to kill flyers with Lotus Bloom and Pentai Prism. And with this version, Forbidden Orchards too. I've done that before. Greater Oromancy, it is what it is. It gives your stuff Shroud. Hercule's Call, I guess is how you pronounce that. Or Recall, sorry. I've noticed that the affinity matchup for this deck is actually quite bad. Their deck is really fast. So I put these in there. It's pretty awesome. Like, it balances like almost all of their lands, all of their creatures. It balances like everything they have. It's like the nuts, basically. It's instant speed. It's only 2 mana. You can do it like they declare attackers on their turn, and you just bounce like 3/4 of their lands and like all of their creatures. It's great. Leylines of Sanctity. These are pretty much against red deck wins. I mean, even people playing a lot of like Duress and Thoughtseizes, I guess you could put them into pretty much any decks that are gonna look to shoot you down. For example, Seismic Swan deck, or what's her name? Mira, is that her name? With the God, what is that stupid combo? It's the combo where they have persist, they can't get poison counters, and they just infinitely loop you to kill you for 2 damage. So obviously you have Hexproof, you can't be targeted. GG. The last one is Sigil of the Empty Throne. There are some decks you're going to run into that are running like Thought Hemorrhage or Memoricide or Memoricide, however you pronounce that. And this is, if you see that, you side this in. This is your alternate win condition. You only have 4 delays mainboard, and even if you do delay it, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get like Form of the Dragon out, because Form of the Dragon is your only win condition. That is what you win with. You don't win with anything else. So you need a backup plan. On the flip side, as I was talking about earlier, with this guy, Boseyu, if you have the money, which I do, but I didn't spend it for Moto, you, on top of 3 of these, you also want to have 2 briberies. Briberies are awesome. You play against 12 post, you play against, I mean, even control decks that run big creatures like Grave Titan or Baneslayer or anything like that. If you have a Boseyu out and you cast a bribery with it, and you land like an Emrakul or a Grave Titan or something like that, like pretty much when people face you going into game 2, they're taking out probably all of their removal. Their removal is dead. It doesn't do anything. You have no creatures. So if you side Boseyus in and briberies, it's 2 more just like, it's 2 more win conditions basically. And if they can't be, and if 4 enduring ideals and 2 briberies can't be countered, you're going to land something, especially with all the cantripping you have. And what's the other one? Oh, I don't have this online because I haven't seen it at all, but I know the shop that I go to, people have been talking about mill, like half the people are like, oh, I'm gonna play blue-black mill, so I put an Emrakul in my sideboard, just to, you know, not get milled to death, basically. Obviously, you have Dovescape against that whole combo, and yeah, you have Dovescape against that combo, or not combo, but that deck. So you're not super terrible against it if you land that, but it still can get pretty messy with Hedron Crabs, etc. So Emrakul is kind of just a little help against that deck. Obviously, they have some stuff to get rid of them, but they don't know which one you're running. So it's kind of a guessing game for that. Also, you could run Ulamog or Kozilek if you're looking to actually cast one of them. I mean, you could totally draw, you know, your Kozilek and cast it or whatever, and draw 4 cards. I mean, that's still viable. In retrospect, I probably would get Kozilek, or I mean, Kozilek or Ulamog. I don't know. I mean, they're both good in different situations, but I would probably put one of those in my board over Emrakul, just because they actually do something. You're pretty much never going to cast an Emrakul, but you could cast a Kozilek. I could see that happening. And I think those are the only changes I have in the real life. Cards, I think, yes. But briberies are the nuts. Cannot stress that enough. If you have the money, I think they're like 15, 20 bucks a piece or something like that, but they're totally worth it if you can actually, you know, spend the money and buy them. But overall, this deck, after playing it for a while, pretty much no one plays this deck. I really don't know why. It has a really, not really good, but it has a good matchup versus everything. It's really under the radar. People don't really play enchantment hate, and even if they do, you have Greater Oromancies, you have Dovescape's main board. So it's, for example, I played against a 12 post list, and he brought in like Nature's Reclaim, and I think he had Beast Within's main board. A lot of them put 3 or 4 of those main board. So against him, I went turn 4 Enduring Ideal into Dovescape, turn 5 Blood Moon. He's done. He doesn't do anything for the rest of the game. He plays his land every turn, and he tries to get enough mana to cast like an Ulamog or whatever. That's all he can do, really. The Dovescape shuts down all of the hate. Pretty much the one card that can really screw up this deck is Kusali Pride Mage. He's pretty annoying out of Zoo. But if you can land an Unlife, a Dovescape, and like 2 forms of the dragon, or 1 form of the dragon and a Mishin, or kind of a combination of a couple of those, you know, you won't totally get owned. Because, I mean, he'll kill your Unlife, but you'll still have a Mishin. or he'll kill your Dovescape, but you'll still have Unlife, or you have kind of outs. He is really annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But at least from the board, you can put in Fire Spouts, you can put in Oromancies, and it gets a bit better. A lot of lists aren't running 4 because Solid Prod Mage doesn't really do a lot in the metagame right now. I mean, it's okay against Affinity, but they can play around it. It's not a huge deal. And I mean, Hive Mind, like, they can just drop their pact in response, so it doesn't do anything. So really, people playing Zeus shouldn't be running a lot of those. There's no reason to be running a lot of those. So, like I said, this deck is really under the radar right now. People are not playing it. I don't know why. I haven't seen a lot of people running it. The people that I have seen running it are running really bad lists, like Knight of Souls Betrayal main board. That card does nothing. That card is only good with Dovescape. But if you're playing against aggro, you want Missions. That is the card that you want. You don't want Knight of Souls Betrayal, because that is not going to save you, and if you drop a Form of the Dragon first, they can double bolt you and kill you. So, Missions is so much better than that. I'm not sure what other mistakes I've seen people making. I think Phyrexian Unlife deserves a mainboard spot. I've seen a lot of people putting him either sideboard or not running any at all. That with Form of the Dragon, you don't lose against red deck wins. You just don't. Like, if you go turn 4 Phyrexian Unlife, they pretty much can't kill you the next turn, and then you go Form of the Dragon the turn after that, and you're pretty much invincible against them. Like, they have to have like multiple, like 3, 4, 5 lightning bolts in their hand to actually be able to kill you. Like, it's not gonna happen. So, Phyrexian Unlife is quite good. I'm really impressed with it so far. Although I would not go to 2. There's a very, 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 very small possibility there would be a second one in the board, but besides that, one and done. That's it. Like I said, if you guys are looking to tweak this deck, the Serum Visions are totally viable to be messed around with. My deck in real life, I actually took all 3 out. I have 2 Peer Through Depths right now, and I threw a 19th land in because a lot of the times I've noticed you'll go turn 1 Lotus Bloom, and you need to hit your land drops. Like, if you don't hit your land drops, you're not going to get your turn 7, whatever your combo card is that you're going to be able to play. And it's really annoying, so I put an extra land in. I actually put in a Misty Rainforest, so I can get both of your lands for both colors. I also considered putting in more of those. You kind of have to watch your life, though, because you can't just, needlessly be wasting your life with shocklands and sacklands. I would say it might be worth running 1 more Misty or 1 more Steam or Scalding Tarn and go to 2. Definitely not 4. I think somewhere between 1 and 3 is probably the right number, and it also makes Ponder a lot better. So you can look at the cards, grab 1, shuffle them away. So it's always good to have that little trick up your sleeve. But if you're looking to run a little more budget, I would use this list because Hollowed Fountains are like 45 right now, and Steam Vents are like 35 right now. So the Orchards are like maybe $2 a piece or something. So this list is really not that expensive. The only expensive card in the main board is the Lotus Blooms, and I believe they're only about 4 or 5 a piece. And in the board, there's not really anything expensive. I think Greater Oromancy is probably the most expensive at a couple tickets a piece, maybe 4 or something. So it's a pretty budget deck. It just doesn't cost a lot, and like I said, it's really good. It's really under the radar. So if you're looking to play a really fun deck that has a good matchup versus everything, I would definitely look at giving this deck a shot. It's pretty sweet. So hopefully I'll be posting some games so you guys can watch, and I'll see you later. Peace.